Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for dropping by again. Really appreciate it. Shout out to the NTZ crew. I know Michael Beach of Life is traveling, and I know Jacob Tanjay will be on here later. Shout out to my old heads. There's Dapple Genius. I see you on here, Mufasa, Uka, Cal, Israelite. He said this is proof that you haven't read the Bible. Which Bible, by the way? There's so many of them out there, sir. Okay, we're not going to get in, and you can use the word Bible to, I didn't say the Holy Bible. I said the Bible, meaning instruction, sir. Okay, so come get off here with all that Jesus stuff. We don't want to hear it. If he is up there, he's asleep on the job. Now, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Hey, Q, he says, Hunk, you might actually be shadow banned because I'm not getting any notifications regarding your channel, no video uploads, live stream, or comments. Have to search your channel every time. Well, there is no might. I am. There is no might. I am, brother. Any new viewers and subscribers join us today. Welcome. All my 4 quarter members. What's up, Shell? And he said, don't pay for the tune-up if you can't drive the car. That's a fact. Grinding for life. What's up? He said, man, if I was living in the Philippines, I would have loved to kick it with some of the expat communities on special holidays. It looked like you had an amazing fellowship. Oh, we did, man. Shout out to Sidney Gibson. He hosted that event, man. Good food, good fellowship, man. What's up, Roger? He said, good morning, evening, Cal, and everyone. Let's talk about Diddy tonight. Yeah. Anybody catching this on replay? That's Jacob Kanjay. The peso is 56.53. We always have a topic, but of course, this is your live stream. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, but tonight's topic is men need a new Bible on what it means to be a man. This has nothing to do with the Holy Bible. This is about instructions, guys. Get out of your feelings. We're too damn emotional. Okay? I didn't come on here to argue with you emotional, sensitive ass men. We here trying to live the best we can for a quarter. Rest in peace to Gerard Black in the Philippines. I received a comment yesterday that he had passed away. I mean, I wouldn't know who to contact to confirm that. Rest in peace to Anthony Robinson. You know, we're in the 4th quarter, man. We don't have time for that stuff, man. What's up, Kevin? I love the child. Johnny S. Yeah, evidently, they're not reading the Bible either. They read it. They cherry pick it. Because they surely aren't following it. Look at the world and the problems we're having. But I wanted to talk about something yesterday. I was talking to Sydney on the phone yesterday. We had a great conversation, you know, just chopping it up. And he reminded me that Kobe Bryant went through this allegations of SA and rape back in 2003. And I looked it up and I was like, wow, what if we learned from the Kobe Bryant situation? May he rest in peace. Obviously nothing. I just see where Ben McLemore was convicted of first-degree rape, you know, while a member of the Portland Trailblazers in 2021. He just got sentenced. You know, all these guys we were talking about last time, Zion Williamson, Dylan Brooks. I mean, it goes on and on. Shannon Sharp. Imagine all that Kobe Bryant went through back in 2003. I mean, it was worldwide news. I mean, his freedom, his career, everything was on the line. Some serious charges, and we wasn't paying attention because it keeps on repeating itself over and over and over. What's up, Sonny D? Thanks for that super chat. He said, anyone heard from the global local blogger? Hope all is well. But a lot of times people get burned out, man, and they just say, hey, I'm going to take a break. YouTube suggests that if you're going to take a break, that you inform your audience. But, there's no requirement. But yeah, I haven't seen anything from him either. It's been about a month, I guess. He said, W Secret Success. He said, okay, gents, live your life because tomorrow ain't promised. Rest in peace to Gerard. Yeah, man. Hey, Will, thanks for that super sticker. He said, if you don't mind me asking, how old was Gerard Black in the Philippines? I think he was somewhere like 67 or 68 or somewhere like that. Maybe 69. Maybe when I met him, he was 67. He was somewhere around there. He was young. Anthony was in his 60s. My brother's 65, man. He's in the hospital now, man. The one on the thumbnail. And he's down to 138 pounds. My sister messaged me today, and she said probably less than that. Said his waist is smaller than hers. And this is a guy who's a strapping 190, 195, nothing but muscle. Okay. And this is what we're going to talk about today. We need new instructions, man, because that old traditional stuff, man, it's not working for a lot of us. We're going to talk about that. But, I interviewed Precious yesterday. And, of course, guys, you can't be respectful. The woman came forward. She messaged me on the Sunshine Shoulders Messenger. I didn't know her from Adam. And she said, hey, you tell that such and such that I moved on. I got a new man. He's younger than him and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, who is he? I don't know him. Some people think I know all my subscribers. And she said she wants to come on and tell her story, just talk a little bit. And instead of y'all mining the gems that she was throwing out there, you want to try to knock her. They think we're easy, just like we think they're easy. Did you hear the woman say that when she got on the dating site? What? Are you coming in here? You first, too. Okay. Or you should. No, it's okay. No, right here. No, me, you. No, I'm not. You first. No, I'm not. You first, honey. Go ahead. Just do it first. Yeah, R. Kelly now P. Diddy. Yeah, we haven't learned anything. What's up, Don Ridgway? She is a nice lady, but they think we're easy like we think they're easy. She said she was getting 34, 40, messages a day from men. Because I said, well, is it easy to go on there and get a man? Yeah, it's easy. And we say the same thing about them. He said, that was a good interview, Cal. She told it like it was. Yeah. Yeah, rest in peace, Gerard. But she said a whole lot of stuff on that. Y'all think I just be on here talking, Remember I said, hey, if a woman's already been dealing with a foreigner, don't deal with her. Well, this man, he said he don't care. I said, did she even know about your last relationships? No. He don't think it's important. Yeah, it's very important. But I'm glad to finally she was a grown woman, mature woman. She wasn't just on here, she had a conversation. That's what we were having. Y'all just want to see some young, nice looking woman that y'all can drool over. You ain't trying to learn nothing, man. I had a discussion last night at the gym with a young man. He's not 30, 31 in his prime, half Filipino, half Australian. And he was like, why are these men so damn delusional? And he talking to me. He said, you know, why would they think that these young women really want them? And I said, I don't think they're delusional. I think we're all like Bill Withers. But he gets it. He was like, what's making these men come all the way over here for what he called 4s and 5s? That's why. He said, every time you go live, here she comes. What's up, Michael? Yeah, I liked her honesty, you know, and she, you know, and her realness. You know, she wasn't trying to be something she wasn't. All you got to do is look at these Filipino vloggers and see that it's fake. This woman was real. This is what. This is who you're meeting on the dating site. It's precious, not them women out there with these vlogs and stuff. That's not who you're meeting. That's who you're meeting. That gives you an idea of who's on the other side for real. He said, I'm surprised all the messages she was receiving. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. Okay, now she's a 50-year-old woman. And she's getting all the messages. You know, men, you know, there's something broke over there, guys, in the West. But we won't admit it. But the young guy, he seems to get it. He says he watches my channel, and I can tell he does. I don't have to explain to him all over and over. He's giving it back to me. You know, like I'll be telling you, I'm like, what channels are you watching? You know, when they start complaining about paying these women and giving them money and all that, well, what do you think you're supposed to do? Do you really think that a 25-year-old woman is interested in a 66-year-old man? Under any circumstances? Absolutely not. You have to know this up front. That's why I give it to you like I give it to you. I'm not trying to be mean. I want you to be Bill Withers. I want you to say, okay, if it feels this good getting used, then use me up, because I'm using you to do what you're doing to me. We both using each other. But they really think these women want them for real. Does love develop? It does, but it takes time, man, a long time, really. He said, prayers going out to his family. Rest in peace, Gerard. Many condolences to friends and family. Yeah, he was a good guy. He really was. People thought we had a beef, but maybe he had one with me. I didn't have one with him. I can't remember why he was even angry with me. I think he said he set up an interview with me and I didn't show up. But y'all see the interview that I put on my community page? That was from his channel. That's the only time I ever met him. And I remember him asking me, and he got to remember at that time he lived in Amline, which is right outside Dumagetti. I'm at least 4.5 hours from him. And when I couldn't make it, I sent him a message and told him, but I don't know. But anyway, I didn't have nothing against him. He said a lot of athletes are scared now because flying a woman out for sex is now a Diddy charge. It's not going to do anything, man. Listen, we just was talking about Kobe Bryant. Okay, Kobe Bryant was just as big, if not bigger, than Diddy. And of course, he went on to build on his legacy. But all that he went through, man, they really tried to destroy Kobe Bryant. Okay? And he escaped by the hair of his chin, dude. It did not. After about 2 weeks, people went back to normal. Imagine his situation is almost the same as Shannon Sharp. I mean, and one thing I can say about it, man, it just seems like the guys who are in the news getting charged with that stuff, you know, they got scared like, man, is it something that we're doing wrong? What is it? But they're not afraid. They're going to go back to doing it. This guy, Ben McLemore, played 9 years in the NBA. Plenty of money. He's dealing with one of them Beckys out there in Oregon. And I don't know. Go read the case. And it was at a party over his Robert Covington, who used to play for the Portland Trail Blazers, he had a party. You know when them athletes have a party, man, and women ain't gonna show up and not ready for the freak off. But I guess he didn't have the money anymore to get a good lawyer. He could have beat that, but we're not learning anything, guys, from that. Hey, thanks for that super chat. He says, Q, he says, why you interview that poor lady? She married a Filipino man, yet still out here. Maybe we need to interview that Filipino about why it didn't work. Yeah, we could never find it, but you know, a lot of times when they say, well, are you married? Have you been married before? Maybe it means, you know, yeah, I had a serious relationship or live in. You know, because they consider each other husband and wife after so many years. But if she's married, that K1's not going to go through, Q. That's a fact. But I think she was a great interview because she was real. She told you what's on the dating site. He said, yeah, the pension is sexy. Pension is king. He said, yeah, 3 kids too. Yeah, we don't care though. Men don't care. He said, I don't understand what she was trying to say. Well, what she was saying was she had met a guy. And he came to see her, and, you know, he was fooling with other women. It was a red flag for her. And it didn't work out. So evidently she had feelings for him because, you know, they got intimate, she said. So he told her that me and him was good friends. So I guess she was letting me know, hey, to tell him to leave me alone. I found somebody else now. I moved on. But I don't know the guy. And that's what I told her. And now she's saying, I found somebody else. He proposed to me. Y'all not listening to this because I've told you this over and over. We come over here and we propose to these women. We fill out the visa and everything. We don't even know them. That man don't know that woman. He don't know her. He don't know that she's already been with 2 foreigners already had a Filipino husband and all that stuff like that. But he's already, you know, he's all in already. It just goes to show you that we don't listen. We don't listen to reason. You know, yeah, he's been over twice. Okay, this last time he stayed for a week. So probably the last time was a week. So he knew the woman 2 weeks. Okay. And that's why I asked her, what is your secret? What'd you do to him? Oh, it's like magic, she said. Then, of course, she said God sent them, you know, put that together. I'm not going to doubt that if that's what she says. He said, hey, Cal, why so many guys care when 85% never have and never will come to the Philippines? Yeah, this right here, it's just like they just want to argue. That's what 53 Shades Darker said. People just want to argue, man. He said, I was actually surprised when my young Filipino girlfriend, now wife, showed interest in me considering our age difference. I expected rejection, but that was before I understood the culture there. Well, it's not really the culture. It's just what's going on today over here. Because the young guy, man, I want to interview him. I mean, he would really give you the nitty gritty, this guy would. Because he said, Cal, I can't compete with these old guys over here. You know, this guy could be a model over here. I told him, I said, man, if you all you got to do is embrace your Filipino side, dude, they'll have you on commercials, in movies, and everything. But he's Australian through and through, even though his mother, his biological mother, is a Filipina. He's 50-50. But he said, I can't compete with these guys, Cal. You know, he's losing out to older guys because they got the money. He sees it with his own eyes because he's over here dating women and they're going and running off with foreigners. Because he says, I can't blame them. They're offering 50, 100,000 pesos. He said, I don't have that kind of money. And I told him, I said, look, you're what they want. We're what they need. And need is going to trump want. But he knows exactly what's going on over here, man. This It's not a young man's game over here. I love the chime. It's never been. But you can't tell these young guys that. They think, oh, I'm young, I'm good looking, look at my muscles. It don't mean a damn thing. They ain't gonna put 1 grain of rice on the table. It's not. I'm sorry. They're gonna bypass you for the 66-year-old man with the beer belly, okay, and the dyed hair. He was telling it to me last night, man. I was like, wow. Yeah, he said, yeah, they want to be lied to. But the thing is, I'm glad for them, because I can't help you. I can't help you. Y'all don't think I know what I'm talking about. So I said, okay, let me let the 50-year-old woman tell them exactly what I'm telling y'all. That we're thirsty. We're too much in a hurry. We don't get to know the women. He's going all in. Okay? He says it's all about the money and class action lawsuits. Absolutely, but we should learn by now. We don't learn. I mean, shouldn't that have been enough? How many men got to go through that? Wealthy men, because the regular guys are going to get thrown in jail before we learn that lesson. Before we learn that lesson, Mufasa, they haven't learned. Man, go back and look at the coverage of that Kobe Bryant case. No other athlete or entertainer should have went near a young woman. If that's the case, because I remember back then they were talking like, yeah, I'm going to start videotaping all my interactions with these women. Yeah, right. He said they're waiting to be rescued, and the first one that gets here is the one she'll take. Well, they act like I don't know what I'm talking about. When I'm saying, guys, y'all need to slow down. A woman's the least thing you got to worry about. Now she done got her good man. She can go to America. He said the game is much easier to play once you accept the fact that no woman on this earth wants you just for your good looks. It's always about money. I don't care where you live or where you're at. Yeah, the key word there is woman. Now, girls, when you're in junior high and high school, they may choose you for your looks. But a grown woman, looks ain't got nothing to do with it, man. 18 to 80 blind, cripple, or crazy. You're going to find somebody over here who's willing to deal with you, okay? But I'm going to start interviewing more older women, more mature women. And I'll put them on my live and my Patreon, because they've got the information. They're not going to lie. It ain't about losing face with them. The fact that she reached out to me and was angry with that man, she's angry with him. I wanted to show you a real live woman, what it really looks like. She's the people I'm talking about. When we come over here and play those games with women, she's like, oh, hold on now. I'm a real woman. I'm a mother. I'm working. I got my own job and all that. But don't play me, because that can get you in trouble. They got a sort of a Me Too thing going on over here, believe it or not. Okay, because every woman I've dealt with over here, when you break up with them, okay, I'll have you blacklisted. I can cause you trouble over there. I'm like, well, why? Why would you want to do that? Not really. She was a real nice lady, and then that's all subjective. Q, see, she came out. Who should know what the parents of any woman we're dealing with over here? They're not going to be honest. She was honest. So maybe that relationship with that man maybe it'll work out. He said Trump was convicted in a civil suit of sexual assault, committed perjury, never paid a damn, and spent a minute in jail. Yeah, well, it's two forms of justice over there. What do you mean? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I didn't, but you know, he's probably a good guy. I've never met him. She said we were good friends. Yeah, but it ain't no 3 months. He's only was with her twice, Jacob Tanjay. She whipped him once. She must got a good lips on her. Something's going on for him to marry her. Hey, thanks, Will Bro 61 for the super chat. He said channel support from OG Will. Salute, Cal. Thank you. But yeah, I wanted to give y'all that woman. She told you what it was really like, but y'all rejected it. Y'all don't want to hear that. He said the old cats win in the Philippines. They are. This is the game that we're playing with this dating site stuff. It's an old man's game. It's not a young man's game. They seem to think they are. I mean, you can come over here and do anything for 2 weeks, but if the woman has a chance to be with um, an older man who's established or a young, good-looking man, she's gonna pick the older man all day long. You know, but what kind of, you know, I don't knock these guys because it's their content, but what kind of intrigues me and kind of amazes me is you see these 70-year-old men, 60-something-year-old men on here telling you, oh yeah, come over here, you get a traditional woman, all that, but they conveniently leave out the fact you gotta have money. It's gonna cost you. How can you leave that out? They conveniently leave that out, like, oh, you know, that somehow these women over here are different. Didn't I tell you the other day, age gap means something over here? It means something. You're gonna very seldom are you gonna see a young Filipino with an old Filipino man unless he's rich, unless he's famous, a businessman, politician, celebrity, somebody like that. You're not gonna see it. Man, I've been over here over 16 years. I've only seen two. Hey, Sakaria, thanks for that super chat. Say, hey, Cal, I'm glad you're catching our live stream. I've been busy working and stuck on the hamster wheel, but I catch and watch your videos when I can. Man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, this is all I'm saying. This is what I was saying to him last night. This young guy, he knows what's going on, but we don't seem to know. He's right over here, boots on the ground. You know, he lost a woman to an older man. Period. He can't compete. You guys got a lot of money, man. These women ain't stupid. They're like, give me that. Like Chris Brown say, that song, give me that. You know, they're like, okay, yeah, you look good and you got muscles and all that, but you can't take me out of the squatters area. You can't take me out of the province. I want to leave here. I want a better life. And he can't do it. He said, Cal, don't forget to dye the eyebrows. Yeah, they always gonna choose the older man, man. Okay, we had like what was it? Charter Day the other day, and he saw his ex and a couple of her friends. They were with 3 old foreigners. You know, it's just how it is, man. It's the game. Young guys come over here, man, and fall in love and get their heads busted, thinking they doing something. The minute you go back, you get on that plane and go back, she's sliding underneath somebody else, man. I'm not talking about all women over here. I'm talking about the game we're playing. We're playing a game. It's a game that we're playing when you jump on that dating site. I wanted the woman to tell you. Now, if 30 to 40 men, she said, I'm getting 30 to 40 messages a day, and she's a 50-year-old woman. Imagine what a 25-year-old woman is getting. Okay? You got a lot of competition on there. But what's going to set you apart from all those other guys is you can make it over here. They can't. That's what's going to determine. Remember, first come, first serve. Q, thanks for that super chat. He said, you brought the same woman on your channel that you wanted us to avoid. That's right. I wanted you to see what's out there. This is what I'm telling you. Thank you. He said the irony when she said she had been with another foreigner. I died. Now you get it, Q. Okay, instead of you guys rejecting this woman, I'm showing you what's on the dating site. But I'm not gonna let anybody disrespect her though. I'm gonna go back through my comments, and any comments disrespecting her, I'm gonna get rid of them. But this is exactly what I was doing. I want you to see who I'm talking about. I'm not just on here yapping. Yeah. I'm just saying. It was at the country club or wherever it was, the resort that he was. She worked there. But that's just the the devil's in the details. The point is, she said, it's just Kobe Bryant, man. The guy could have any woman he wants, basically. When it was all said and done, okay, he probably said, "No, I'm married. I ain't trying to get closer with you, lady." Now, he raped me, and it almost cost that man everything, his freedom and everything. He caught hell for that. And you would think every athlete, entertainer, businessman would have learned something from that. We haven't learned a damn thing. They're going to keep on getting guys like that. He said, yeah, told me you have to at least take 3 to 4 trips and let the family venture Filipina, and they will. That's been proven so many times, Sheldon. My buddy Monroe, it was her first cousin that vetted his woman for him. And the bad thing about Monroe is he's doing all the right things. Now he can't even bring his fiance over here because that old bogus marriage that he entered into is still in the system over here after all those years. They can't. He's got a hard lawyer to get it removed. And this is what's happening. This is what's happening. I wanted her to say that, but she basically said, "Yeah, it's like magic." Okay. Imagine you coming over here to the Philippines. He went to Hong Kong. Meet the woman twice. They just started really chatting in January, called themselves a couple in April. Okay, it hasn't even been 3 months yet. He's already ran back and did the visa and everything. He proposed to her the first time. But y'all think I don't know what I'm talking about, man. That was a good interview for anybody trying to figure out what to do and what not to do. Don't do that. He says she seemed indecisive. She's going to get to America and start acting up. I don't think so because, she's 50 years old already. You got to realize she's an OFW, man. You know how hard it is to be an OFW? I couldn't tell you how hard. But they're considered heroes over here. She worked 16 years in Singapore, 5 years in Hong Kong. She would be a good candidate. She's not going to run off. She'll get a job and work until, she retires. Yeah, she's got to be something. The throat goat, something. He says if you would have let her say his name, she would have sang it to the rafters. You know, a lot of times though, they're naive. They don't even mean any harm. She knows coming on my channel saying his name, but I asked her nice. I said, no, let's don't say any personal names because we don't want to get anybody in trouble. She said his first and last name. You know, there's three sides to every story. There's her side, his side, and the truth. We don't know his side of the story. And she really didn't get into any story for real. She just said that they met and it didn't work out. They were together for 6 days. It didn't work out. That's basically what it was. That was the whole story, uh, their story. She never talked about him. She just said another woman was calling him. He ended up meeting another woman, but she never said he mistreated her or anything like that. Well, I don't know. She already got her hopes up. You know, the point that y'all missing is that we're coming over here after meeting women one time. And we're giving away these visas, which have, you can't put a price on a visa. We're giving them away for a penny. People are dying. People are giving their lives to try to get into the United States. Have you been watching the news? Walking hundreds of miles, facing, you know, the ice and all that just to get to America. And we don't see that sacrifice. All we see is, you know, the tune-up. That's all it takes. And we're giving them damn visas away so quick, man. My God. Well, no, I'm shadow banned. I'm shadow banned. He said, algorithm acting funny, Cal. I'm not informed when your channel's up and live streams. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, guys. Well, I tried to tell y'all, you know, because I talk about a whole lot of stuff. I'm going to stop talking about certain things, though. I'm going to, you know, ramp it down because, you know, they'll shadow ban you. And your message doesn't get out. You know, I've been stuck on 68,000 subscribers, which I'm not hung up on subscribers, but I'm just showing you that I'm shadow banned. All you gotta do is just put me on a regular level with everybody else and see what happens. You know, Sonny D, thanks for that super chat. He said they don't tell you that OFW contract is for 2 years, so they want to marry to get out of the contract. Yeah, but you got to understand something, though, Sonny D. You got to pay to get out of that. And usually it's the man who pays for them to get out of it. Just because you get married doesn't get you out of that contract. You got to pay to get out of there. Usually it's something like 50,000, probably more now. No, they haven't all been. They haven't all been. I'm sorry. That's not true. You know, no, they haven't all been with a foreigner. That's not true. You'll be shocked at the women who haven't been with a foreigner. Y'all don't understand, man, that the Philippines is literally an island. You know, they say no man is an island. The Philippines is an island. Some people have never left this place. They never left their city. They haven't come in contact with foreigners at all. I mean, you know, they might walk past them or see them in the mall or somewhere at the park, the beach. They haven't had any interaction with foreigners. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they earn quite a bit. Yeah, they earn quite a bit. But, you know, she was a nice looking, not so much, you know, beautiful, but she was nice looking. She had a great personality. You can just tell. Yeah, he said, what is the OFW? Overseas Filipino worker. I can believe it because I know who I'm dealing with. Okay. She's 50. The man was 65, the first one, the brother. And then the white guy was 57. You know, but if I tell a guy 57, I'm like, look, dude, you 57. Why would you come over here and date a woman 50? You should be looking for someone probably around 30. Okay, because she's going to be on the same maturity level as you, more than likely. A 50-year-old is going to be too old for him. She's going to be his grandmother the minute he moves her to America and they start living together. See, they aren't even living together. It's all, strawberries and cream. They're not together. Once they start, getting, did you eat? Take your medicine, and all that. It's going to drive him crazy. What's up, Juice? He said it was nice of her to come on the channel. She seemed to still have at least a little feelings for the brother, whoever he is. Yeah, that's what Marilyn said. But when I first remember when I record these videos, I can talk to the people first. And she just seemed so genuine to me. That's why I said, well, let me go and interview this woman because she's genuine. She's just telling you what it's like, on a day-to-day basis on these dating sites. What happens, you see, she said, okay, I met the man. We was intimate. Okay, they had talked online about him coming over. He came over. They got it on. Okay, they didn't work out. The other guy comes over here. They got it on. So good that he proposed and went back and did the K1. What's up, Cisco? Yeah. You got to see the other side because all you're seeing, Q, is one side. These 20-something-year-old women and everything's good. The guy's telling you, come over here and everything like that. You're not going to learn anything from that. A lot of times we learn more from our failures than our successes. What we end up doing, we have to look beyond the pretty face. We can't get beyond the pretty face. And this is what screws us up. Yeah, his pants was on fire, man. But let's kind of talk about this a little bit. Yeah, she said his name, but I don't think anybody really knew. But you can tell he's the typical 60-something-year-old man, didn't know how to cut the phone off. I could see that in my mind. Yeah, I give the OFWs all kinds of credit, man. It's not easy. He said, well, what happened to the tape guy? Well, I don't know. I seen him on, okay, I got a friend. His name is Mike. He's got a channel. He just done started up. And I see James in the comments, but I don't know if he's back over here yet or not. I know he had to go back home. I believe he was selling insurance. I don't know. The man he was living with was an insurance agent. Yeah, he's married with a kid. Yeah, I heard that. Said Philippine Annex is covering it on the stream. Yeah, I heard about what I didn't get any type of confirmation. But a lot of people are dying over here, man. And that's what we want to talk about today. We need a new Bible on what it means to be a man. Okay, everybody knows what the traditional role of the man is in society. We need to flip that upside down. Okay, basically, we got to take care of the family. We got to be the breadwinner, the provider, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally, certainly financially. And we got to set the example. We got to obey the laws, be honest, ethical, and basically we have to be what they call selfless. Okay, what's selfless? It's a lack of concern for oneself and a focus on the well-being and needs of others. That's what the man is supposed to be in today's society. Okay, put everybody else's needs in front of you. Prioritize the interests and happiness of others above your own. It says, do all of this with a smile on your face. Don't even question it because it's expected of you. And you're going to get a pat on the back. You're going to get the plaque. You're going to get the watch. And then they're going to bury you at 55 or 60. And that's it. And then Tom, Dick, or Harry's going to come in and take your place. Hey, Lawrence, thanks for that super chat. He said, I met this lady on a dating site. We now been talking for 3 months. I'll be in the Philippines at the end of September. She promised she would meet me at the airport. What are my odds she will be at the airport? Well, if you're sending a lot of money, it lowers your odds. Okay? But more than likely, she's going to be there. But what would be her incentive, Lawrence, to show up if you're sending big chunks of money? See, that's one thing I forgot to ask her. But you don't have to ask her that. I know they were sending her money in order for her to get intimate with them so fast. But I did forget to ask them that. Ask her that. But more than likely, Lawrence, she's going to be there. But the thing is, why put all your eggs in one basket, Lawrence? Don't do it. The woman you're talking to is going to be different when you meet her in person, whether it's better or worse. You may not get along with her. See, because she's talking to more men than you, whether you believe it or not, because she probably don't believe you coming. I know you don't believe me. Oh, she's such a good woman. How do you know? You're just talking to her on there, on the screen. You don't know the woman. She's talking to 3 or 4 men. Excuse me. Because she don't know which man is coming over here. She wants somebody that's going to come. But you done already screwed it up. You already got her meeting you at the airport. Well, Raymond, look, he said, my Filipina has never asked me for money. Guys, stop with this. She don't have to ask you, Raymond. Have you spent any money on her? She's not stupid. Okay? Women here, they know the reputation they have. Okay, whether you agree with it or not. Okay, I don't agree with it. I've been over here a long time. Are there some women like that? Yeah. But they have a reputation, Raymond, for what? Being scammers and gold diggers. Why would she ask you for money at any time if she's smart? She's going to run you away if she does that. There is an unspoken agreement that's at play. Okay, guys, come on. Y'all been following the channel a long time, man. The woman doesn't have to ask you for money. And she knows that. She's never going to ask you for money. Why would she do that? She's going to run you away, a good man. But, you know, okay, we talk about being selfless, right? Putting the needs of everybody. But there's a deeper commitment that most of us deal with. It's a deeper level to it. And it's talk about self-sacrifice. It says that's a more extreme form of selflessness, where a person willingly gives up their own needs, desires, or even safety for the benefit of others. You know, an example, oh, let the man eat last. You know, people always ask me, hey, what counts as who eats first over there, the kids or the man? You know, but we're supposed to, you know, you're hungry, you've been working all day. It's your efforts that put the food on the table. But you, selflessness or self-sacrifice, I'm going to eat last. I'm going to eat half to make sure everybody else got that. Or, you know, we'll say, oh, he'll step in front of a bullet for her. Okay, those are just examples like that. But then it says working 2 or more jobs. Who's done that before? More overtime. But it involves a significant personal cost, which can include physical danger, emotional pain, and loss. Because when we constantly put others first, it's going to lead to burnout, man. Basically, what they're saying. These are experts saying it. Leaving men depleted and unable to take care of themselves. Like my brother. He's laying up in the hospital right now. His whole life took care of everybody else, getting the pats on the back. Oh, he's such a great father, such a great partner, husband, and now he's dying because he's unable to take care of himself. Okay, and it says over time, men feel unappreciated or taken for granted, leading to feelings of bitterness toward the people they are helping. Holler if you hear me, man. Holler if you know what I'm talking about. You just keep on, keep on, keep on. Okay, it says, you know, you're going to neglect your own health, relationships, and personal goals, which can diminish overall life satisfaction. You know, we're not for a quarter. But when you live in by those old instructions of self-sacrifice and I'm going to step in front of a bullet for somebody, oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to go without eating tonight so everybody else can eat. And you're going to end up in the hospital. Yeah, man. He's a great guy. He was my role model. I mean, he just was, man. And to see him like that, man, y'all saw him on the thumbnail, but my sister said he looks worse than that, and I can't believe it. You know, this guy was the epitome of what a man was supposed to be. Responsible. This guy never missed a day of work in 36 years. They had to make him take sick days, so he would take 1 week off every year. I meant to say, I misspoke. I said once a week. It was 1 week every year to watch the opening of the NCAA basketball tournament. He worked every day, all the overtime he could get. There was times when he would work 3 jobs. Man, this guy was a nurse. He had the money, but he's trying to, you know, he's got 3 sons, you know, my mother. He's doing everything. And I guess he thought that running, see, that was his passion, was enough for him. And it wasn't, man. He's dying right now. He's in bad shape. He said, those roles have changed, Cal. Some young guys can't keep jobs and prefer to live off the woman. Well, we talked about this, Ron. You're right. You talked about this, but we need a new Bible, guys. It's time that we start being more selfish, not selfless. I know you religious guys and all that stuff. You know, preacher tells you to do this. This is noble. This is what a man's supposed to do. But if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of your family? And you're going to start becoming bitter. You're going to start feeling unappreciated. Oh, they don't appreciate me. They're taking me for granted. You can't do anything. You don't have a life. You think that's noble. That's not. That's unhealthy. He says the late great Kevin Samuels was helping men, high value men, understand their worth. We took a big loss when he transitioned. He was a great teacher. He gave out some great information, but you can't live through Kevin Samuels. You can't live through Andrew Tate and Trump and all the rest of them, guys. You got to live for yourself. It's okay. They're giving out their information. If you're not going to use it, some of it was extreme. Did he ever talk about working out and stuff? I certainly never saw him working out. I mean, he died on top of a woman. You know, drinking, you know, I'm not disparaging the guy. I'm just saying you have to learn from your own life experience, not the experience of somebody else's. You know, Augmendino said the greatest map in the world won't move you 1 inch. You got to take the action. All that good information those guys are giving out, man, it's not going to do you any good. Not going to do you any good at all, man. People keep saying, oh, I'm living through, I live vicariously through you, couch. Stop it. Don't do that. Get your ass off the couch, okay? Buy your damn ticket and go somewhere. Don't be living through me, because I'm going to die. Okay? Live through your own damn life, your own experiences. Don't live through me or nobody else. That's all I'm saying. They living vicariously through me. That's being lazy. You know, like I said, imagine, I put this on my community page. It came across my mind. Imagine you waiting around for 30 years for that thankless job to celebrate you, to give you the plaque and the gold watch when you can buy the damn watch and plaque on Amazon. Celebrate your own damn self every day, waiting on people to validate you. No job going to validate you. No woman's going to validate you. Validate yourself. You damn right. Life isn't fair. It's never been fair. Yeah, it is heartbreaking. Imagine 138 pounds. He's the only brother I didn't get to see when I was there. What are you talking about? What expert I'm reading on? I just said, Augmendino said that the greatest map in the world won't move you 1 inch. What are you talking about? What it means to be a man? Well, you're going to end up dying. Are you going to end up, what's it say right here? It says, neglect of one's own health, relationships, and personal goals will diminish your overall life satisfaction. You may think you're doing something good, and then pretty soon you're going to look up, you're going to be sick, and then you're going to die. And they're going to put on your tombstone is, oh, I'm a good man. Okay? He said, it's crazy. He said, I never heard of a woman that wanted her husband to retire. Yeah, we got to be more selfish. That's what self-preservation means. You know, putting your needs and your interests and your values above everybody else's in order for you to continue to be able to be the best man you can, to be the best breadwinner, the provider, protector. You're getting weaker and weaker and weaker, man. It says men lose sight of their own desires, interests, and values. You're going to be reduced, I'm totally frank, to a caregiver and a helper. That's what most of us have been reduced to. That's why we're unhappy. That's why we're frustrated. You come on these comments and live streams and stuff, and you're angry. Well, get angry at yourself. Look in the mirror. All that self-sacrifice. That's old instructions, man. We got to get away from that. There's nothing noble about dying at 55 and 60 and 65. That's when life really just begins. Napoleon Hill says a man doesn't reach his peak till he's 65. I believe it now. Because all that other foolishness and distractions are behind you. You can focus on the things you really want to focus on. You know what's important now. Absolutely, it's real. He says self-preservation is real, We do so much for women, but forget about doing for self. And everybody else, and our mothers and fathers. I got guys saying, oh, yeah, I'm taking care of my mother and my father, so I'm putting my life on hold. There's nothing noble about that, man. I'm not saying kick your mother and father to the curb, but it says right here, we got to have a balance. You got to find some kind of balance. And this is what most of us don't have. We don't have that balance. Because I'm going to talk about some stuff that they said we can do to offset these old screwed up operating, this old messed up operating manual that we've been living by for all these years. Okay, because I'm waking up to it. Okay, I'm waking up. I'm sorry. Because it says right here, this is crazy. This is what we don't realize what we're doing. It says people become dependent on you because you're doing everything. It says they lose their ambition and become lazy. So now you're with a person that, the total opposite of you now. You out there, working your fingers to the bone, getting it done, and then you come home and she's complaining. Oh, it's 8:05. You said you're supposed to be home at 8. That's what I've been through before. He said, yeah, just because you retire from work, don't let your health slack. Eat a clean diet. What do you mean he was working out when he passed? He was having sex with a woman. Supposedly, I guess if you want to call that working out, but either way, we got to quit living through these other people. This is our problem. We will look at another person's success and marvel in their success and aren't doing anything to improve our life. We're going to talk about how much money somebody else got. Oh, we're so infatuated with these athletes and entertainers and the money that they've got, man. Look, when you can do the same thing, but you're too busy working. You're too busy doing for other people, impressing somebody else. You're killing yourself, looking good in front of somebody else, the deacon board, the preacher, the congregation. Oh, look at him, working all that time, all that sacrifice, putting all your kids through college and all that. If that makes you feel good, okay. But when you die, man, they're going to forget all about that. It's not going to mean anything. Life is a miracle, man. You don't know how you got here. You don't know why you're here. You don't know how long you're going to be here. You got to enjoy it like everybody else. Well, I don't know about this, man. He said, rest in peace, Gerard. He drunk himself to death. He reminded me of John Moonshine Shoulders. Well, I don't know, man. Let's just don't speculate, man, like that. He said, when I was 18, I thought 58 is a good age to retire. By 48, I was burnt out. I had to retire at 52. My man and body was telling me, you're going to die if you don't. Remember all the self-sacrifice that men are making. This is what we're told to do. We're taught as a young man to do. At the expense of our health, our relationships, our finances. And then they're going to say, oh, well, you're going to be rewarded later on. Well, nobody's been back to tell us that's true. Okay? Well, but you can't live through Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace. He's dead now. So what? The information he gave still lives on. So what? You need him to be here? He said Kevin Samuels was a ghost. That brother was before his time very intelligent. Y'all don't understand. He didn't just pop up. Kevin Samuels been around a long time before he hit his stride, guys. A long time. He was talking into the universe like most of us are before he got his traction. Okay? But the point of it is, he can give you all the great information in the world. Ain't going to do you no good. Let you take it and run with it, which we're not going to do because some of it's extreme. Some of it is they're not even doing. Oh, it's my way or the highway. You know you're not living like that. You're not living like that. He wasn't a perfect guy. None of them are. They're all hypocritical, really, because we're all evolving and people change, I'm not the same guy I was 5 years ago when I started my channel. And people was like, oh, well, you said this. Yeah, back then I did say it. But I'm evolving. I'm changing. It's okay to go back and rethink some of the stuff that I used to, think. No, nobody stays the same. That's why I told the guy last night, you're not the same man you was 5 minutes ago. It's okay to change your mind. He says, I learned from experience and observation. He said, yeah, he told me and they should work out and be in shape. But what's he doing it? You know, I'm just saying, guys, you know, you already know what to do for real. You don't need anybody to tell you what to do. That's just being lazy. So guess what we do when it comes to being men? Just like we do everything else, we get in line and start doing what everybody else is doing, thinking that, oh, everybody else is doing it, must be the right way to do it. No. All the mistakes we made over there, we come over here and make the same mistakes. Or wherever we go. And people think, well, who are you, Cal? You can't tell us because you did it already. That's why I can tell you. Okay, I'm not being hypocritical. I'm telling you, look, man, there's a landmine over there. I stepped on it. Look, my leg is blown up already. Oh, Cal, that was an old football injury. And you step on the damn thing, you're blown up. Because I don't know what I'm talking about. He said he was taking it out. I don't think he died of natural causes. Well, you know, it's still early in the game, Raymond. You know, everybody wants to think they got the best woman. And I'm not picking on you, but it's too early. It's too early for you to say that. Okay, ask Michael Beat Your Life. When I told him, I said, normally the first woman, it doesn't work out. And he said, oh, no, I hope I'm not, I hope I beat the odds. He was in love with that girl. They both with somebody else now. The girl's even got a visa. I think she's in the Netherlands somewhere. And of course, you know, Michael Beat Your Life, he's got another woman. I think, you know, they're on vacation somewhere. He says, I stopped helping my family when I hit 28 years old. I got a lot of pushback from family at first. 6 years later, they're showing me the greatest respect, but I had to switch states. Yeah, because what's going to happen is it says right here, people become dependent on you. This is what happens over here. We do so much, they become dependent on you. They lose all their ambition, all their dreams and goals and everything, and they end up turning into somebody you don't like. And then you get bitter because you're doing everything over and over and over. And over time, you're like, damn, man, sick of this shit. I got to do something for myself. Yeah, but when we tell ourselves that, it's bad. I mean, who are we getting this stuff? Who are we getting these instructions for anyway? Old instructions from way, way back, okay, when they wasn't even living by what they were putting in that book. Yeah, you better live. Yeah, don't live through me, man. Don't live vicariously through nobody. That's just being a lazy person. Oh, we're living vicariously through you. Take some time off from that old funky job that don't give a damn about you. The minute you dead, they're gonna have your job in the paper, online, some damn where. We got too much loyalty to these jobs. A real man anywhere respects his elders, but that doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your life for them. Yeah, we got lazy. Well, you know, all this, so it's too late. You know, it's too late. The point of it is, all that great information he was putting out there is still available. Okay, he doesn't have to be here. You see people following the Bible. Those the people who wrote the Bible have been dead for hundreds of years. He doesn't have to be here. No, it's not the same brother. The guy I interviewed, that's my brother. Me and him have the same father. We didn't grow up in the same household. The brother I'm talking about that weighs 138 pounds, we grew up together. We have the same mother and father. Yeah, but our identity is tied to our job. I'm an insurance agent. I'm, a mailman or whatever it is. We tie all of that to these jobs. And then when the job is gone, then what? Waiting around when you can celebrate your damn self every day. We want the damn watch that they sell on Amazon. Same damn watch. Well, they don't know anything about a FICO score. It wouldn't do them any good anyway. Yeah, he died, but he ain't no punk. Yeah, give me my flowers now. Okay, so what are you saying? That you got a good woman? That's good. We're happy for you. But ain't nobody perfect now, you know. And I wouldn't be, doing too much bragging. Because like I told the young man last night, the woman you laying next to right now is eventually going to become your worst enemy. And there's enough men on here who understand that, who've been through that. The one you're so in love with right now, she's the best thing that ever happened to me. Okay, you're going to want to blow her brains out, or she's going to want to blow yours out before it's all over, said and done. I was married to my American wife for 18 years. Those last 2 years, it's a good thing I didn't have a gun. I probably would have shot her. Okay, that's how much she got on my nerves and tried to destroy me. The same woman we laid down, had 4 daughters together, built a daycare business together, and then the whole 9 yards. Helped me stop drinking and all that. We were ready to kill each other at the end. He said, I'm not burning myself out to please anyone. Protecting my peace and living by my own values will always matter more than sacrificing myself for someone else's happiness. If we could only really live by that. But the results aren't saying that, man. We're still dying so young. These guys are dying young. 2 guys that I knew, Gerard, Anthony, they both died within a week of each other. They both were in their 60s. That's young, man. It's too young to be dying. When I was talking to my friend Sidney, he's 90. Sharp as a damn tack. But he takes care of himself. We were talking about this last night. He said the young men need to establish themselves first before moving in with these women. We were talking about, I was telling him, and I still believe it, that a man probably going to need multiple women in his life before it's all over. When I'm 20 years old, I'm probably not going to stay with that same woman until I'm 60. She's going to take me to a certain level. Then I'm probably going to break up with her and get to somebody else. Because they're only going to take you to a certain place. Okay, then you may have to get with somebody else. And so finally, I told him, I'm saying, okay, I was 56 when I met Marilyn. I think this is it. But look at all that I've been through and all the women I've been with up until now. I can just ride off in the sunset now. I don't need to be with anybody else. He said, you call that working out. He said, I'm trying to recover from being burnt out, from doing everything for everyone right now. Thank you, man, for being honest, man. This is what the point of our problems with men. We lie too damn much. Everybody wants to be perfect and have the perfect life. knowing you falling apart on the inside. You operating on these old ass instructions. It tells you you got to work 2 jobs. They ain't gonna appreciate you, man, and you're supposed to be happy about it. Don't complain, because you're gonna get yours later on in the end. They got a mansion waiting for you up there somewhere. And ain't nobody ever came back and told you that was true. He said, Cal, what beach did you go to? It's called what's that beach called? I done lost my man. I can't think about that beach. Wait, I'm crazy, man. Maryland. Maryland. What's the name of that beach in Sickihor? Now she done forgot. What's the name of the beach? Palatine Beach. Palatine Beach. She done forgot. And you got the long Palatine Beach and the short Palatine Beach. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he did have cancer. He had some health issues. Yeah, true. But it's not as important as what our actions say. No, very. He said the secret to life is to live. But how you gonna live when most of the time you at work or you sleep, and then the little time you do have, you have her busting your butt, putting everybody else's interest in above yours. He said, and once we do this, here's what happens. We create these one-sided relationships with the men constantly giving and women receiving without reciprocating. This is where this old it's my way or the highway. Oh, you have to look out for yourself, guys. But they'll say you're selfish. Okay, well, good. Yeah, Palatine. He said, "What mansion, Cal?" Well, he said, they built mansions up there for everybody. You can't take care of the damn apartment you got down here, but they're gonna give you a mansion up there. Yeah, that's right. Who held it in? He said, "What's up, Cal and Chat? When I date, I look for how a woman handles adversity and problems in relationships with her close friends. Then you know her true self." But we're always, does it always have to be about dating though? Does life always have to be? Are we in a state of our lives right now where it's all about dating? That's how you can tell a passport bro from somebody who's just a world traveler. It's all about women. They whole conversation about women. They got a woman beside them going everywhere they go. It's all about the woman. It's never about themselves. The woman is validating them. That's why they do all of this stuff that they do, with the end result being a woman. Man, that's a weak man as far as I'm concerned. You can't do that. Because when you die, she's going to replace you. You're going to be replaced doing all this stuff for women. That's how you know a passport bro. If you're confused as to, oh, what's a passport bro? If his whole conversation is about a woman, and look at the woman I got. And he's always with a woman beside him, and everywhere he goes, you see the woman, he makes it about her. That's a passport bro. He's not talking about investing money, saving, paying off bills, improving his health and his life. It's all about a woman. We spend far too much time talking about women and not enough about ourselves. So we end up bitter at the end. We end up physically, emotionally destroyed. And it's too late. You can't turn back the clock, guys. You got to do it now. You know, yeah, the upper room. It's got to be more than about a woman, though, man. That's all we think about. No, I'm not talking about a life without a woman. I never said that. My T levels is way up. Ask my woman in there. Listen to what I'm saying. You can't make it all about a woman. This is the problem. This is what the experts are saying. This is what I'm seeing out there right in front of my face. Okay, we're paying too much attention to her instead of your own health. This is what they're doing, man. It's all about the women all the damn time. That's how you know the passport, bro. If you don't believe me, man, this came across my mind. Because people always say, well, what's the passport, bro? How they always ask me. I really couldn't give them an answer. I just said, well, it's a title. But now I know who they are now. It's all on YouTube. If you want to know what passport, bro, is, that's all they talk about is women. That's their whole itinerary. Okay, it's going somewhere trying to find some woman and showing you, look at me and the women I can get over here and all of this, right? When I'm trying to tell you that it's not about the woman, it's about you. The woman's going to be the least of your worries. My mother told me that when I was 80. She said, take care of yourself. You're going to have a woman. I'm pretty sure she told my sisters the same thing. Take care of yourself. You're going to have a man. Me and Merlin was talking about that. We walk to the gym every day. We don't catch the tricycle. We walk and catch the tricycle back. I said, why are we making such a big deal out of having a woman or a woman having a man? That's natural. Why are you making a big deal out of, look at me, I got a woman? Man, y'all crazy, man. It's always that. It's always that. All you really have to do, like the guy said before, and like you're saying here, he said the question is, should be, when was the last time we had a complete physical? But how you gonna get a physical when you work in 2 jobs? He said, get our blood drawn and our sugar and cholesterol checked. All you gotta do is get blood work done once a month. No, it's not about, man, look, man, you too young. You're missing everything I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with that. I never said don't have a woman and a man shouldn't be involved with women and you shouldn't like women. I'm saying don't let that be your focus. Because remember, I've been 30 before, Q. You never been 62. I'm telling you what happens when you make a woman your focus. Okay? It says right here, you diminish your overall life satisfaction because you're going to neglect your own health, personal goals, and everything trying to please the woman. So go ahead. He said a man should ask himself what kind of man he wants for his daughter and then ask himself if that's the kind of man he is. But we want to be perfect. Of course, we want the perfect man. You know, you shiver to think that the man your daughter is going to marry is not perfect. You want the perfect man. Oh, he's responsible. You're going to put him in these chains that we're talking about, Cisco. That's what we're going to do. He's going to put her up on a pedestal. He's going to treat her like a queen, all at the same time neglecting himself. This is what we're going to do. I didn't say all. I said if you want to know what a passport bro is, okay, that's all they're talking about. That's all they're talking about. We're not saying that's all the men are doing. We're saying that's all passport bros talk about is women. He said the first step to freedom is seeing the change. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're showing you the change today, Doe Getter. But we're not listening because I'm the exception. That's not me. I got a balance in life. Okay, well, most of us are thinking right now, well, what I'm going to do for my wife. Why do you think Mother's Day is so big and Father's Day is nothing? And it's most of the men who are making Mother's Day special. Buying all the stuff for their mothers and all that stuff. Going out of their way, going broke on Christmas and all that for the kids and all that. You got to pay for the toys the whole year and then do it all over again. You never can escape the financial traps like that. Never learning how to say no. But they'll tell you how to say no over here in the Philippines, but you can't say no at home. You don't have a history of saying no. But all of a sudden, you're supposed to get off the plane, and all of a sudden, you can say no now. That's the reason you're in the situation you are now. You can't say no. Yeah, right. That's not true. He said, if you're a man in America right now, you should already be trained to be focusing on yourself and not another woman. We're brought up to step in front of a bullet for a woman and all of that. It always tells you what to do for a woman. It never tells you what to do for yourself. So you stumble to open the door for her and all that. Make sure you remember her birthday and when y'all got married. This is what we're talking about today. We lose sight of our own desires. What are your goals? Put over here. You can't even tell me what your short-term goal is right now. Just to make it to work in the morning. Make sure I get there on time. Just the thought of getting to work late, it bothers you. Well, but they're all modern women. They're all modern women. But they'll tell you to say no over here when they can't say no. That's why they're so in debt now. They couldn't say no. They're afraid to say no. They're afraid of disappointing the woman because they don't see the value in them own selves. We're taught to please somebody else. What's it say right here? It says physical and mental health can suffer due to stress, lack of self-care, and the emotional toll of constantly placing the needs of others above our own needs. Somebody's right now is there already, but they're not going to tell you that. Hey, Q, thank that super chat. He says, hey, technically we're all passport bros. Why else would you be in the Philippines or the DR? What for? The culture and infrastructure. But that's not all we talk about. Okay, I'm just telling you that if you want to know what a passport bro is, I mean a real one. Okay, passport bros aren't building houses and stuff, Q. Have you built a house over here yet? You're not even thinking about that. You're thinking of renting. You're always showing off a condo that you're renting or whatever it is. It's either a condo you're renting or a woman you're renting. Either one. There's nothing concrete. There's no real success other than I got a passport and I bought a ticket. I'm going to the Philippines and that's it. We need that self-discipline. Self-discipline, not discipline. We got discipline. You know you better be at work at 8 o'clock or you're going to lose your job. So you do that. But the things like go to the gym, take a long walk, drink more water, eat better. Okay, as long as you got somebody looking over your shoulder, that's discipline. You can do it. We fool people that way. Oh, he's real disciplined. But the minute nobody's watching, that's who you can tell who you really are. And you're eating a big ass apple cobbler for breakfast. Well, how can you go build a house and you just bought the land? You plan on building a house? Well, maybe you're not a passport bro then, Q. You're all over the place. I said passport bros aren't doing that. It's all about fun. It's all about entertainment. This is just my opinion. He said a program to do everything for everybody except me. I'm planning on retiring at 62 in August. I will be 60. I plan on visiting, possibly retiring in the Philippines. I'm listening to you, brother. Yeah, man, we've got to throw that old instruction manual away. And we got to write a new one. Well, let's talk about, okay, here's some stuff, because we're not going to talk about the problem unless we talk about the future. I mean, the solution. But here's some things you can do to get back on track. One thing that a lot of us aren't doing, rest. Get your proper rest. That's the first thing in it. We have to prioritize our rest. I used to go out, man, stay in the club at 3, 4 o'clock, and have to be at work at 7. Yeah, it's not a big accomplishment. Even having a woman is not a big accomplishment, but this goes to show you our mindset. You know, having sex is like it's as natural as breathing. But we want to brag about it. Look at this woman I got, this damn piece I got. Well, you're supposed to have a woman. I mean, if I'm a multi-millionaire, I'm going to have a damn piece too. But we make a big deal out of having a woman. He said men are too disorganized. It would take a smaller group like expats to come together and create a new code of conduct. Then others can choose to follow or not. We're just having a conversation, really. We're just, bringing it to people's attention that we need to be more selfish, because the church will tell you being selfish is a sin. And it'd be the same man that's going to be preaching your damn funeral. Okay? And reading your damn eulogy. The same man is giving you that bullshit information about looking out for everybody else, stepping in front of bullets for people and all that stuff. Man, that's bullshit, man. I'm going to teach my kids to avoid that type of stuff so I don't have to stand in front of a bullet. I want them to appreciate me. So they'll say, wait till my father gets home to eat. Because it's his money that bought that. Have that much respect for him. Well, I don't want a slave master. He said, I only have one boss and he's always watching. Well, like I said, I don't know. He sleeps most of the time. It ain't nothing special, man, for a woman to have a man. Okay, yeah, it'll work. Q. Now, you still in the Philippines or you in America? What's up, Mr. M? We just having a conversation, because too many of us, man, the self-sacrifices we make, we don't even realize it till it's too late. My brother, man, it's just so sad. He was he was Mr. Consistent. He never was strung out on drugs and stuff like that. He was the one that always made all the right decisions and all that. But it cost him because he was doing it, following these old instructions, looking out for everybody else, but not himself. I'll be damned if I'm going to go to a job for 36 years without missing a day. They give you a vacation for a reason. I'm going to take it, and then nobody's going to talk me out of it. Nobody's going to talk me out of it either. But he thought that was something special. That was the loyalty he had with his job. It was the same type of loyalty he had with his family and whatever woman he was with at the expense of himself. I'm not saying don't be responsible, don't be successful, but we overdo it. Well, it says rest, bro. I'll tell you rest. Engage in physical activity. And that don't just mean with the spoon to your damn mouth. Go walking, go to the gym, do some push-ups. We won't even do that. These young guys watching this right now who think they got forever. Oh, I ain't got to do it right now. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. There's young guys right now who are watching this who don't do one push-up. And they think there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, there's something wrong with it. It's going to catch up to you. And just when you think you're about to succeed, you're going to drop. You're either going to be sick or dead. And all that work and all that money, somebody else is going to spend it. Okay, you're going to see that you wasn't all that special anyway, because the minute the grieving is over, somebody else is going to be blowing her back out at your expense. So go ahead and build that man cave for somebody else. That's all you're doing. Go ahead and put them 24-inch and 26-inch rims on the car so somebody else can ride around and look good in it. I remember I met a woman, this is true 100% facts. I met a woman in Cincinnati, Ohio, right? She had thrown out her boyfriend and she gave me his clothes. She had bought him some brand new suits. Here, try this on. She had them tailored to fit me. These was his clothes that she had bought him. This is what happens, guys, but you thinking, oh, I'm doing something. He said, Cal, we men have to get back to being Renaissance men. We should learn and be competent in many fields. You can't do that focusing too much time on women. We should accomplish our heart's desires. I was telling the young guy last night, I said, man, when I came to the Philippines, I never knew all this was over here. All these little games people playing, all this paper play, all this focus on women. I never knew it, man. I mean, you would think that that's all the only problem we've got is a woman problem. Man, you got more problems than that. You're not fooling me. You can fool yourself. But we talk so much about women that you would think, well, that's all I need is a woman and I'm going to be straight. Blood pressure high, stress levels high. You ain't worked out in forever. He was the rock. He was the rock, man. There was no ifs, ands, and buts about it. But that's what the thing is. We talk so much about women, put so much focus on women that we think that's the only problem we got. No, you don't have to. We go overboard because You can take care of yourself, Q, and take care of your family, but you're not doing that. All you're doing is working and taking care of your family. You're not working out, though. You're not getting the right sleep. Okay, because now you're in America, your wife's over here, you got to be on some old messed up sleeping patterns trying to chat with her. So you either got to get up early or stay up late just so you can talk to her. Now you're worried about it because your man is in the Philippines and you boots on the ground in America. You keep doing that for some time, and it's going to catch up with you. So ain't nothing wrong with, we're not talking about being irresponsible, but we've taken it to a whole other level. See what you're doing, you're taking care of your family, but you're not taking care of yourself. That's what this discussion is about today. It's taking better care of ourselves. How many times we've had this discussion, but it don't mean anything. People are going to still be dying. He said, I remember you saying, Cap, you could do it all over again. You would get an apartment in the bubble and spend your money. Well, I'm saying as far as that's where I would start out at if I could do it all over again. You know, because if I'm a new man and woman, see that video was for the new man and woman. That's where I would go because it's gonna be a smooth transition from America, where I'm from, into the Philippines. Okay, most of what I'm used to, Sakaria, is in America, is in those bubble cities. Even a lot of the same restaurants. There's banks everywhere, there's people everywhere, the transportation, the infrastructure's there. It even looks like I'm at home. Yeah, the 26-inch rims only for somebody else. This is what we're doing. We're damn too young. We're in our 60s. If you're in your 60s, you done built all that stuff up. You done bought the car. Now somebody else is going to be driving it. If you die in your 60s, guys, all the work you've done, the only way you really going to, probably can defeat that is if you live in your 80s. If you die in your 60s, man, somebody else is going to be walking in your boots. I'm sorry. Now, look what he says. 77% of young U.S. men today are deemed ineligible for military service due to factors of obesity. Okay, here's one thing it says right here, too. It says, limit screen time spent on social media to avoid what? Information overload. Remember I tell you that they want you to think everything's important. This is their problem. They can tell you about all the apps and all that stuff, but they're not going to pick up a weight. They're not going to walk around the block. These are young men. So by the time they reach 50, they're going to be dead. But that's all we do. We make it about women. And it's cringy, man. It really is cringy. That we make so much, trouble about these women over here. Like they're special. And the thing about it is, if they had some type of special powers, which it's not the power that they have over you, it's the sick power you have over yourself. If they had a special power, they would use it on themselves to get out of the situation they find themselves in. They're not going to use it on you. The special power they got, you created it in your own mind. Now, if I just get this woman, I'm going to be okay. Hey, JJ, thanks for that super chat. He said, hey, Cal, thanks for always keeping it real. Man, I tell you, boy, my two sons, they're not going to make the same mistakes I make. That's why when my ex-wife, she got mad at me because I told my son, look, you ain't got no business having a girlfriend right now at 13 years old. with all that Me Too stuff going on over there. It ain't like when I was 13, you could run and smack a girl on the booty and keep running and she'll chase you and that'll be it. Now you go to jail for that. He says, I just came into the chat. He said, you going back to America to help your brother in this time of need like he did for you? Well, no, not at this moment. I'm not. Because I'm not a doctor. He's in the hospital, okay? He needs professional help that I can't offer, okay? And remember, love is spiritual, okay? It transcends international time zones and all of that stuff. My brother knows I love him, man. But no. He's got enough help there. I just be getting in the way. He says you have to treat your relationships like a workout plan. Work out each part of your body equally, right? Some type of plan to actually implement it. We just need a balance, man. And most of us, if you're honest, man, be honest. Do you have a life balance? A work-life balance? Be honest. Or a balance where you're taking care of yourself as well as you're taking care of your family. Be honest. Put a 1 in there if you think that you are taking care of yourself as just as well as you taking care of everybody else. I don't plan to see a whole lot of 1s because it's just not true. Yeah, we think we know, but we really don't know because that's what the guy was saying last night. He was like, well, why would guys, he asked $1 million question last night. He said, why are these men coming all the way over here for these women? That's what he said. I couldn't give him an answer. You would say, oh, because they're desperate, they're lonely, and in isolation and all that. We really don't know. Yeah, this is what we're saying. This is all we're saying. But eventually, you'll get so wrapped up in taking care of everybody else that you're going to put all your needs and everything off to the side. You're not even going to be paying attention. You're just going to wake up sick. And this is what happens. He says, I'm not happy or healthy. He said, if I'm not happy or healthy, everything stops immediately. I'm first. Without me, the party stops. And that's what happens. You work your damn self to death. You stress yourself out. You keep giving, and nothing's coming back. You become bitter at the people you're taking care of. Okay? And then you die. Okay, and then guess what? Here comes Tom, Dick, and Harry to take your place. And if you're 60 years old, somebody's certainly enjoying the fruits of your labor. All that you've done, all the stuff you bragging about right now, some other Tom, Dick, or Harry is going to be in there enjoying it. That nice deck you built on the back of there, he's going to be barbecuing every 4th of July. Because you're going to be in the cemetery. That's where you're going to be, thinking you've done something. What? Hey. And the same people telling you that it's okay to do what you're doing right now is going to be the one preaching at your funeral, giving you all that bad information. Giving you all that old bad information. Here it is right here. He's laying it out for you right here. He said, men have been conditioned and brainwashed into putting others first before yourself. You must take care of yourself before you should take care of others. This is what the whole live stream is about. The conditioning and brainwashing of men. These old tactics, the old standards. We need a new Bible. And they've given it to us. They're saying just flip that upside down. Instead of putting the needs of others in front of yours, put yours in front of theirs. Put yourself first. Instead of becoming selfless, become selfish. How hard is that? But you think it's wrong. You think it's wrong. They get excited when you start talking about women. You know, and that's good. He said, I get to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. Do you rest though? Okay, because we have to do more than that. He says, practice mindfulness. Stay connected with friends and family. Establish a daily routine. Pursue hobbies. What else to say? Seek professional help. We certainly ain't gonna do that. Practice gratitude. These are just some strategies to help prevent burnout and promote well-being. But we're going to keep on making about everybody else's of us. You're going to be dead in your 60s, man. And somebody else is going to take your place. This is the reason why people have a hard time with dying, because they know the party's going to keep going on without them. Okay? So go on and build up all them big, nice houses and stuff. And not be taking care of yourself. Got all that stress and all that debt on your back, trying to impress everybody. He said, hey, Cal, I just saw your spinning wheel post on Facebook. How did that start and how did you choose that method? Seemed like thousands of names on the wheel at this point. Well, that's how my channel got started. That's how Sunshine Shoulders got started. I was telling the guy that last night. I just made a decision during COVID, during the lockdowns, that I wasn't going to stand by while, people were starving. People were starving over here. And I had money coming in every month. I used to just put the names in a bowl, and we would stir the bowl up and reach in there with a blindfold like that. But I said, no, I'm going to make a spin wheel. And you have to make a game out of it because I'm not a charitable organization. So I said, okay, to get on this wheel, just subscribe to my YouTube channel and screenshot it to me in the Sunshine Shoulders Messenger. That's all. And it's been working like a gym ever since. During the pandemic, I had 2 wheels. One was for food and one was for money. I've been doing that. This month is 5 years. And I'm going to keep on doing it. But yeah, that's how they got started, because that's a principle. That's a universal principle. That's probably the reason why my channel gained some traction. When you help other people, you help yourself. That's the law of reciprocity. That's the law of compensation. It's a whole lot of laws that work there, whether you believe it or not. But that's how they got started. He said, what about creatine? He said, they got supplements now to keep you alive and going. Yeah, but are you going to be happy? Are you just going to be existing? What somebody said, I think it was an expat living overseas, said, you're are you living or are you existing? I just don't want to exist and be propped up there like that. Yeah, this is what we're trying to get to. But the only way you can get to that is you have to be more selfish, because you have to be thinking of your own welfare to become to spend more time thinking about yourself. You got to read that book. Let me tell you something. No matter what I did with my American wife, it was never enough. Oh, you out there getting high and drinking, so I stopped. Oh, you smoking, so I stopped. I started working at, oh, you always at the gym. Then I start reading. Oh, you always ignoring us. You're always in that book. At some point, you got to say enough is enough. I got to do something for me, lady. But yet you're sitting around getting bigger and bigger and bigger and dumber and dumber and dumber. And that's why we're no longer together. I finally put my foot down. Okay, no, you're exactly right. But how many men are here, Cisco? He says, you know what's crazy? I can take care of myself and my woman without being a selfish prick. It's called self-love and mutual respect. They are both mutually exclusive. They are not mutually exclusive, believe it or not. Yeah, but you're the exception, man. Most of us aren't doing that. Okay, this is what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get right there. We're right where you are, Cisco. Okay, this is where we're trying to get to. But men are honest. They're going to come out here and say that's what they're doing, knowing that they're breaking their backs for everybody else. Wouldn't dare to say no to somebody else's request, no matter how crazy it is. Afraid you're going to hurt their feelings, no matter how much stress and it's going to cost you, or how much money it's going to cost you. No, it's not. No, it's not. I said we have to become more selfish, okay? Because as men in America, just like the guy said, we're conditioned, we're brainwashed to put the needs of other people before ours. Oh, let them eat first. I've been working hard all day. It's my money to put some food on the table. Okay, I'm going to step in front of the bullet. Now what? Everything crumbles. I'm dead. Everything crumbles. Now here comes another man who has to do the same thing over and over and over. We got to stop stepping in front of bullets, guys, and just teach our people to avoid those type of situations. Not stepping in front of no bullet for nobody, man. You know, but we don't know anybody. You don't know anything about anybody on here. We're having a conversation. It's all we have. I've never met 95% of y'all. We're just saying that from what we're seeing out here, these guys are young, man. They're dying. Something's going on. You've seen all the statistics that I read off the other day. There's more. Okay? It's because we've been operating under some old instructions. We have to become more selfish, not just selfish to the detriment. Now we're not even going to have a family. You know, but this isn't your first go around either, Cisco. Let's be honest. You're not the perfect man. Nobody's perfect. We're not asking you to be perfect. Something was wrong when your first marriage that you said you spent. You said you wasted 25 years. What was that all about? That's all I'm saying. We just have to become more selfish. We're selfless. You know, we want a balance. That's what we want. We want a balance. See, he's being honest. But when you're being honest, most men won't be honest. He said, way too many men are spending all their time pursuing women and trying to please them once you get one. F all that. Take care of yourself first and the rest will come. This is all we're saying. If you're on this live stream and you're trying to come to the Philippines, you know your focus is on a woman and what you can do for her once you get her. We're saying, hey, man, you might want to back off of that. This is what you were doing in America. This is what caused you so much stress and strain to begin with. Why don't you try this? Why don't you try putting the needs of yourself first? Since you got to be the breadwinner, the provider, we got to take care of our families physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. Show up for work every day and on time. We got to be honest, ethical. You know, they're asking us to do it all, man. So when are we going to have some time for ourselves? but that's all we're saying. So you know, the ship was like this. You righted the ship, basically. That's what we're trying to get to. We need your help. You know, but I'm just saying, guys, we can't come over here acting like we're the perfect man. We've all went through that ringer. Okay. I'm sorry, man. I used to, when I think back on my insurance career and all those long hours I used to work, man, for my family, because I made some decisions based on other people and making them happy. I had to work those long hours, driving all those miles and stuff. Man, it had a toll on me. You know, I eventually burnt out. So I'm not going to sit on here and be dishonest with you and tell you that that wasn't my problem. It was. I made some decisions based on other people, not myself. He says, Google AI said, yeah, selfishness can be a positive trait when it involves prioritizing one's own well-being and needs in a healthy way. And that's all what we're talking about. Okay? Because if you die in your 60s, somebody's going to be there that's going to enjoy all the fruits of your labor. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so, well, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to reverse that. Okay, he says, Cal, I see your point, but America's system is designed to kill you at a certain age. You have to think for yourself. That's one thing we're not going to do. We go to college, they think for us. We go to church, they think for us. We get these, the Andrew Tates and the Donald Trumps and let them think for us. It's time we think for ourselves. We all made mistakes. We're trying to right the ship. I don't want anybody enjoying the fruits of my labor because this happened to me. But hell, I was in my 40s when I, split with my wife. And some other man's there. He's no longer, may he rest in peace. Okay, because he started doing the same thing and end up killing him. Yeah, he says, with all the stress, why not seek professional help? Well, we're not going to do that. We're not even going to go to the doctor. And the stigma associated with mental health issues, certainly in our community, Alvin. Okay. Now, selfishness is right. It's the right word I was using. It is, it's always going to be two sides of the same coin. Here it is right here. It's always going to have more than one definition, Cisco. The definition I'm talking about is the one right here. Prioritizing one's own well-being and needs in a healthy way. That's all we're saying. Okay, I go to the gym for me. I don't go trying to impress some woman. I go for myself. I eat better for myself. I don't do it for them. But it's always going to have, most words have more than one definition. But I'll be damned if I'm going to put the needs and interests and values of everybody else. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm not going to do it because it comes with a cost. We're doing it subconsciously. We don't even know we're doing it. So when somebody brings it up, you get angry. I'm not being, I'm doing it the right way. Yeah, that's what you think. Until you sit down and really, okay, what am I doing? I'm giving. We think we're doing a favor. Oh, yeah, just go ahead and retire and let me work. Let me pay all the bills. Let me do everything. And pretty soon you become bitter. Because she don't appreciate me. Let me tell you heard that. I'm being taken for granted. It is the right word. That is selfishness. That's one definition of being selfish. Yo, you're right. He said cow people don't want to admit to about mental health because religion says you have demons inside of you. And well, when the answer is always God, why even ask the question? This is what I'm saying. When the answer is always God, why? Oh, just pray about it. No. Sometimes it takes more than prayer. Sometimes it's accountability. They're talking about pray for the victims in Texas. You're going to pray to the same God that caused the damn catastrophe. Now it's time to, it's some people who need to be held accountable for that tragedy there. I don't see what praying to the people already dead. You should have prayed the night before so that they would hold the waters back. It's too late. Oh, pray for them. Now, somebody needs to be held accountable for that. That's all I'm saying. I don't knock people's religion. We were talking about that last night. People need that to make it through this cruel-ass world, right? Okay, whatever it takes for you to make it from one day to the next, I give it to you, man. I'm not going to knock that, but I don't buy that stuff anymore. I'm a grown man. I can think for myself. It doesn't add up. Okay? It's too hypocritical. It's like you're the same man, or God, or whatever you call it. It's causing all these problems. That's all I'm saying. And you're never on time. Seems like you treat the bad people better than you do the good people. That's why it's called universal law. Okay? There is no favorites. I can deal with something like that. You get on top of my roof and jump off, I don't give a damn how much money you got. You're going to come crash into the ground. I don't care what color you are, how much education you have or don't have. You're going to come crash into the ground. What religion you are, it's fair. If you violate the laws, you're going to be punished. If you abide by the laws, obey the laws, you're going to be rewarded. I can deal with that. I can't deal with some man in the sky somewhere with a beard. Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Okay. And little kids are starving over in Gaza right now, and in the South Sudan, and the Congo, and all over the planet. Okay? Don't give me that. But I don't knock people for their religious beliefs. I'm just saying, if we're going to talk about it, let's be honest about it. The guy comes on here, oh yeah, something about he's always watching. I don't want nobody watching me like that. He's always watching. Who is he? What did he say? The guy's name, something Frank on here, claimed that he don't have to worry because he's always watching or something like that. Come on, man. Watching what? Well, people can do what they want to do. He said thoughts and prayers are great, but it won't bring them back. And it won't prevent anything either. You would think, why are we always praying after the fact? When that system, here's something y'all don't understand. They predicted stuff like that was going to happen when they start making those cuts. They cut 600 people and billions of dollars from that agency. They predicted that way back in January when that Doge and all that was coming through just to save a few meaningless dollars. They predicted all this. Okay? So don't give me that stuff, man. It's time for accountability. You know, what's the point? God's always the answer. Why even ask the question? Yeah, going everywhere else. All this old Doge stuff and all that. Now he done quit the damn Doge and started his own political. But I don't care what they do over there because nobody's pushing back anyway. You know, we're the perfect men, but we're not pushing back over there. When are people going to start pushing back and doing something about it instead of just sitting back talking about what's going on over there? Now there's no Epstein list. That's in. It's a couple of months ago. Oh, it's on my desk. We're going to get right on it. Because Trump was the one, oh, yeah, we're going to release that list. Now it's no list. No, I didn't misunderstand nobody. I didn't see that question then. No. Yeah, all that just for nothing. You know, that's what it is. Your whole life is nothing but choices and the decisions you make, the aggregate of all the decisions and choices you made over your lifetime. That's where you are today. There's no man up there directing your steps, no matter what you say. Okay? And even if it was, then why you must have to ask yourself, then why are you there to begin with? Yeah, well, why don't you go by the laws then, Frank? Don't feel sorry for me. He said, I'm sorry, you don't buy religion. God made all the laws. Yeah, well, you don't abide by them. You say they don't exist. So that's why you want to pray for the people in Texas. The little kids that died. Where was God with that? See? You can't answer that. Oh, you don't question God. I'll be damned. I'm questioning him. And if he's that petty to give me a magnificent mind and then don't want me to use it, I want to be a slave. Who wants to deal with a guy like that anyway? Okay? I'm sorry. Then he creates an imperfect world. You know that most of this planet, we can't even live on it, Frank. It's uninhabitable. You realize that, right? No, you don't. Because they want you to suspend your intelligence to believe that stuff. He says, there is a list that you're trying to protect Trump. That tells you right there that he's on the list. Well, why even talk about the stuff when we're not going to do anything about it? Where's God, Frank? When he knows you got this evil cocksucker in office, they all been evil. And he doesn't do anything. He just sits back and lets them do it. Let them get richer and richer and richer, and we get poor and poor and poor. Do you know what it's like to starve to death or to die of thirst, Frank? You let your God that. Why'd you letting all these kids do that? Why don't he put it in the man of man to save some of these kids? You sound ignorant talking about that stuff. I'm living in a real life. You ain't got time for that. People are starving. Babies who don't know the difference. But you do that to appease other people. You're going to put your own life online. See, that's where we have to be more selfish. We have to start thinking of for ourselves. You're sitting around waiting for some invisible spirit to do something for you. That's why nothing gets done. Y'all sitting around waiting. He sit there with folded arms for all that time through the Holocaust, through slavery. And now what's going on in Gaza and all the other horrific man-made tragedies. He's just sitting around watching. Oh, I'm going to get you when you die. Okay? As if dying ain't enough. That's not enough. When you die, I'm going to get you. Yeah, only God knows, man. Get off here with that stuff. I respect you, though. I respect your belief. That's what it takes for you to get through the day. I'm sorry. God ain't gonna do nothing for you. He gave you everything. If there is a God, he gave you everything you need. He said, man, this topic really hits home. I'm literally so exhausted, and I realized my efforts are not appreciated. I only started feeling better when I focused on myself first. Try that. Try that and see how that works. Do something for yourself. Who's doing something for themselves today? Okay? Who's doing something for themselves? Really, I mean, for yourself. You say, this is for me. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm taking the trip. I'm doing X, Y, Z for me today. I'm gonna be more uh, selfish. I'm prioritizing my own needs and values and interests. But see, more people, okay, actually don't believe in that anymore. But in America, you can't come forward and say that. Okay, you tell me the Trump believes in God and all the shit he's pulling. You tell me Biden, Obama, and all those guys believe in God. Bush killed 1 million people with the shit he was doing. But he's gonna say, God, he believes in God. Yeah, I just want men to start learning to think for themselves. What we know as religion, and a lot of our beliefs about psychologists say about 80% of what we believe right now was beat into our heads around the age of 7 or 8. Once you grow up, now you got to rethink all that stuff and say, do I really believe in Santa Claus? It's all the same thing, guys. But they scare you. You don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. You don't believe in the Easter Bunny. You don't believe in any of that stuff anymore. But you gotta hold on to that because they scare you and say, "Oh, you're gonna burn in hell for that." Well, what kind of God? I thought he was all about love. Okay, then why would he burn me? Okay, but they said Ted Bundy, asked for forgiveness and and accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior on the way to the electric chair, and he was saved. Now you want me to believe that, but just me, if I just question the existence of God, I'm gonna burn forever and ever. But this cocksucker that killed all them innocent young women, raped them, killed them, and everything. All he has to do is, I believe in, and I accept Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and I'm asking for forgiveness, and he's gonna be swept up into this heaven that y'all talk about. Come on, man. Sorry. My mother suffered, man. Nobody loved God more than my mother. And boy, did she suffer. I don't know what y'all must not know what it's like to die of lung cancer or you can't breathe. That's a hell of a way to die. No pun intended. Right. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. Where are the Christians then, Frank? And the world's gone to hell. Where are they? Somebody's got to really believe. Isn't somebody in power a real believer that can turn all this stuff around, all this inequality, racism, hate? There's got to be somebody at that top who really believes in that, who hasn't thrown their hands up and say, my loyalty's with my party instead of my God. Somebody has to believe that somewhere around the world, but you don't have that. Okay. And then they start hearing stuff. Oh, God told me to do this. you know, but they can't answer that stuff. Oh, because God, you don't question God. I mean, surely the same people who's getting on their knees, you know, praying to God was the same people that acted out on crazy ass Jim Crow laws. Absolutely. But Frank can't tell me what. Okay. All right, guys, I got to get off here. I got to get the manicurist is here, and she only comes. She's busy now. She only comes once in a while. Um, I'm gonna get that done. I appreciate the super chat, super stickers, all the thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders. We're gonna always have these discussions, man, because they real life discussions. Where else you gonna talk about it? And everybody's like, "Oh, I don't like to talk about politics, religion, sports." Well, who's supposed to talk about it? He said, "Again, I feel that but if they're cooking hot links and barbecue chicken at the cookout, I'm turning into a deacon for the next 4 to 6 hours." Yeah, I got to do it now because I mean it's only like 150 and 150, so it's 300. But I need it because my nails start breaking off after a while, and then she cuts all the old skin out and all of that, right? Yeah. See you later, barbecue beer freedom fighter. Yeah, that's right. I gotta look after myself. I gotta prioritize my needs. Y'all can do all that other stuff if you want. I'm gonna take care of my health. Yeah, they do. We literally take the Bible for granted. We think a man actually walked on water and all that other stuff, you know. But they looking for a savior. They don't want to save themselves. A preacher told me you're your own savior. When you get on your knees and pray, you really praying to yourself. But you're gonna give the credit to some invisible spook somewhere. You did that work, okay? Anytime, man. Well, I see y'all. Take care.